What's going on, guys? Bel Air here. Today we are going to rewatch Game 6 between Complexity and Shopify Rebellion from the recent top 6 matchup from Diaz's point of view, the new budding young star for Complexity Gaming here, who have looked awesome. And I want to talk about Complexity for sure, but I want to start out with Shopify Rebellion here, who after losing here in this top six, Shopify Rebellion, they came so close last season to making a LAN. A lot of people had them as, a LAN team, certainly a top four, and they end up making it to the North American tiebreaker last season before the London Major against OG Esports. And after almost 5 minutes of overtime in a really tense series, they lose in game seven off of kind of a team blunder. If you remember, Two Piece tries to control the ball and ends up just throwing it away off kind of a panicked move. And OG are coming the other direction. Justin can't read the ball. It's a strong, hard bounce, kind of off the position Diaz is in right now. Justin completely whiffs, and then Parth is caught flat footed in his own goal. And that seemed like it might be Shopify's best chance to qualify, but they return here, and after having a very, very shaky groups in order to even get to this position here against Complexity, they lost to Nether Lamera Canada, and they looked like they were probably going to lose. They were on the ropes against Woo, which is the all French team. Um, they ended up making it here, and we're going to see how close they were to forcing a game seven here at the end of this replay. But it just feels like a kind of crude irony for Shopify to get this close to making an international event 2 seasons in a row. And they closed out Deleted Gaming, who have looked pretty great this season, this split rather, in seven to make this top six. And Complexity got here. They dropped from the uppers after a game seven loss to the Ultimates. Parth had a series of two halves. He scored and assisted on 11 of Shopify's 12 goals, and he felt like, honestly, the most consistent and dangerous offensive player out of any of the six in this series. Of course, we could talk about Diaz as well, who is going to take a full field air dribble. Let's look back at this one here real quick. Sparth is going to pop. Looks like he has two pieces an option, and two pieces just going to try and get it past CRR, but ends up giving it right to Diaz. Justin is not up here too late, and it's just too much speed and great placement there for Diaz to put them up two here and put Shopify on the ropes. And that's kind of Complexity's game plan. They're trying to just get a couple, and then they're going to get outshot in this game six here. I think 11-5, and that's fine with them. They get a couple of goals, and then they're just going to coast. We had talked recently on one of the episodes that I had put out on my YouTube channel, kind of about that being Complexity's style, but I digress. Parth was really great offensively, and then he got caught out defensively a lot. I think back to in game two, he got killed in transition to open up the scoring after they had won game one and they couldn't really recover. A lot of 2-1 losses in order to get here. So we're going to get a triple commit by Complexity, and then Diaz just no boost to recover to this one. And is that Parth who actually puts this one away, or at least creates this opportunity? I mean, Parth was doing everything for him. Yeah, Parth's just going to float that one just out of reach of Diaz. And then Parth also, he got caught in a double commit in game four that helped Complexity force OT in the first place. So I feel like I've done this a lot in my own kind of analysis, and I've seen this in the community as well, where it's like, if Shopify can't make it and they make a change, it's got to be Parth, right? There's so much love for Justin, and Two Piece at one point in time seemed like he might be one of the next, quote unquote, next guys for North America. And if we could go that direction real quick, I definitely want to talk Complexity. There's only a minute left in this game, so I'll try and hustle. If I'm putting on my GM hat here, I feel like you probably, great save by Parth, probably waited too long to get maximum value for two piece if you're the Shopify GM. It's kind of like a Lauri Markkanen situation in Utah where everybody wanted him and then you just re-sign him, and now it's kind of like, oh well, the ship has kind of sailed on max value. But he's still 18, and he's made 19 two-piece, that is 19 A-tier events. Only two of those have been top four though, which isn't great if you're thinking about a player who could be one of the best in North America. And he's shown some brilliant flashes. You probably hope that he's kind of like a Cade Cunningham kind of situation where I'll just take a couple of seasons to find his best footing. But, they've made 9 out of 19 top eights, which is great. But, it's just that next level, whatever two pieces had around him has not been it. And let's lock in here to see Diaz. Let me actually roll this tape back real quick if that's okay with you guys. Look at the complexity, getting so nervous. Diaz goes up, a double commit there by Raise Bull and CRR. Diaz taking his time, gets the pop over Justin here. The doink ahead by CRR, two-piece, full boost from his own back wall. It's going to try and take this here. Parth needs to be careful. Gets demoed there to completely remove himself from this critical play. But luckily, he spawns all the way back at the ball. Diaz, patience. CRR dusted, and look at how close that was to going to Game 7. Complexity have looked nervy in a lot of big series. They lost 3 straight to the Ultimates in the upper quarters, and it felt like we were going 7 with Shopify here. Complexity are almost certainly going to make a LAN here in Birmingham, but this feels like it is probably the end of Shopify's chances. They fall to 8th in the standings, and I don't know what you do. This could be the end for the Shopify roster. We'll see how they show in Open 3, right? I think their effort there is going to tell us a lot about their mindset heading into the trade deadline. And I feel like them and Gen G are kind of the rosters where there's a lot of question marks. And those are the two I'm going to be watching the closest at the deadline, as it seems like they kind of have their hopes dashed of making this first major of the season here. So shout out to Complexity, who definitely still have some stuff to figure out, as they're most likely headed towards the other side of the pond to contend. They're looking for a new organization, last I heard it. Complexity have kind of floated that this is going to be their last split with them. They're trying to do their best by them, as they're probably going to move on. So big opportunity for them. I am curious what you guys think about these two rosters. What are your expectations for Complexity if they make it to a LAN? Are they a top 8 team in your opinion? And what do you think Shopify are going to do with the rest of their season here? Are they going to stick it out and see if they can improve as a trio, or are they going to make a move? Excited to hear what you guys have to say below. As always, hope you guys have a great day out there. Thank you so much for your time, and until next time, take it easy.